As you're doing the work for your twin flame union, inner child healing can be one of the most beneficial thing to heal your blocks. Inner child healing is basically like looking at the child version of you. That means like as an adolescent, you have your personality and your experiences have built up or supported you to create what you are today. So that means if you have gone through some bad experiences or traumas or abuses, that actually has contributed in what you are, your belief system today, which basically like acting in your subconscious mind and probably reflecting the way you create certain experiences as a grown up. So inner child is basically the inner family, which is also like having the awareness and the wisdom, which is again contributing to your inner beliefs. So healing the inner childhood will be the most important thing, I would say, when you are like healing your uh, twin flame blocks. Usually what have gone through your experience is what have contributed to your personality. So most of the time, like as you think what your personality is probably not your authentic form or authentic personality. For example, like if you think you are an aggressive person or you are an extrovert, it could be possible that you become or you adapted that personality based on your circumstances, based on the situations you have gone through. You may be an introvert, but your situations demand you to be an extrovert, so you basically change your personality to adapt into that situation. So most of the time what you really show outside world may not be your internal reflection. So it's important to know that what is actually the personality you carry, so which come through healing those blocks and healing those inner child wounds and the traumas. So when we refer to inner child, it is also about like, let's imagine like we have two personalities. For example, the person you are today, like the person you facing or reflecting to the outer world, believes that you have needs, you have you think in certain way. You also understand like there are some beliefs to carry, but the inner child, your inner self, is basically an innocent child who doesn't know all those things. It just knows only the love and compassion, for example. It is like pure in nature. So what you're experiencing like is also like kind of a separation, so between like your inner self and yourself, which is outside of yourself. And through inner child healing, what you are trying to bring is also like the wounded parts of you, which is like getting aligned to the inner self. The inner child is basically like a build-up of the memories we have. So usually like the children from 2 to 9 years is where we pick up all the beliefs and experiences and from other people, and what you hear and what you see, that the child take it as his own reality. And in many cases, like most of us, like we take our mother's like wounds into ourselves, or mother's like beliefs into ourselves, thinking that it is ours. So this is also a way of like healing the other person, because you carry and you take the other's pains into yourself, which is not even yours in fact. If you have gone through unpleasant experiences in your childhood, or in an abusive relationship, or not even having the emotional security which your parents wouldn't have given you, but obviously that is not their fault because they didn't know how to give the emotional security. So it's nothing about blaming your parents or anyone. It's all about looking at that experiences and looking at what actually contributed you to become what you are today. So if you experienced all these things, mostly like you will end up in like codependent relationship, or having the codependency, or having trust issues, having safety issues, having fears is mostly like related to the safety aspect of it, because if you're not emotionally secure, that will create a lot of insecurity within you, which eventually like reflect as fears in certain aspects. Example, like your parents were fighting all the time, like when you were a child, and you're seeing that and growing up, that create an emotional insecurity within you, because you feel that the world is not safe. So this could reflect in different other ways. As an grown up, as an adult, you started reflecting that into different kind of ways. So it is important to understand what has been your childhood situations and what you need to really heal at that point of time. So when I say inner childhood, don't think that it is the childhood. It is not the childhood aspect. It is the inner child, is your pure and sincere form of you, that is your inner self, who experienced some unpleasant experiences in the past. Since, as I said, most of these experiences have been picked up as a belief system when you are a child at the age of 2 to 9, it's easy for us to refer as the childhood issues. But not, inner child is not really the child, the child version of you. It is the inner version of you. It's your it is what contributed in terms of building what you are today. Overthinking is another now issue which would probably like came because of not having that emotional wellness and emotional security within yourself. Because overthinking, like, it's always thinking what is actually like going on at any point of time, and trying to bring those negative experiences into reality. So it's important to address this in terms of healing your blocks. This is not really the blocks. When I say inner child, is about addressing your beliefs, addressing the patterns within you, which basically exist in yourself, which is not supporting you for the healings of the blocks what you're doing. Because you clear the blocks, but if you're not clearing your beliefs and thought patterns, if you're keep bringing those like patterns into your life, so your inner work is not going to be effective. So it is actually important for both of this to be together and heal, to have that harmony in yourself. As you heal your beliefs, what you're doing is like you're creating that internal bridge between yourself. You're creating an emotional stability with yourself, so which help you to express in a better way, which help you to kind of connect with yourself and others. So it's kind of an ongoing process. If you have like feeling angry or feeling violent, because anger is not really the feeling, anger is numbness. So you need to feel, you need to allow your inner child to feel those feelings. You need to allow to look at what has been contributed, what has been, where this experience is coming from. So when you address the address to feel those feelings and address those issues, so you are in a safe place to clear those. There are many aspects of inner child within us. Like if it is a vulnerable child, it carries mostly the pain. The inner child brings many aspects, like if it is a vulnerable child, it mostly carries the pain he experienced. If it is a needy child, it goes the gratification and the safety issues he or she faced. If it is like playful, or like the child who is like very restless, it also like bring a lot of immaturity, like emotional well-being issues. If you're a person who are very sensitive and emotional, you may need to look at the kind of experiences what you have faced. Probably it could be like your needs would have been refused in the childhood. You wouldn't have been fulfilled with what you looked for. Maybe you wouldn't have got attention. So this emotional, being emotional is an aspect of like looking at the different safety aspect. Because if you haven't received all your needs been addressed, it's basically like contributing to the safety aspect of it, because you never feel safe to receive everything. Many of these cases, like you need to look at being where you need to give attention. As an example, you need to look at how you probably like bring that emotional maturity within you. So because it's a kind of a healing process, obviously, and you need to look at the different pattern you have experienced in the childhood.